food, rotisserie chicken. I'm gonna keep this chicken nice and simple, and I'll tell you why. Sometimes you gotta just let the seasoning do all the work, especially when there's a hungry bear involved. I'll start by coating the entire bird in some nice olive oil, and that'll give the whole bird a nice massage, making sure to cover every nook and cranny with that oil. And once he's all oiled up, I'm gonna use some of my Osmo chicken seasoning. Look at me on there, look how happy I am. That's gonna be the bear in a few seconds. I hope the bear will appreciate the effort that I'm putting into making this chicken delicious right now, but at the same time, like I said, I'm gonna let the seasoning do basically all the work here. I didn't want to make just any boring chicken, so I actually bought an entire rotisserie oven because I want to make sure our bear has a good time. Now with a little movie magic, our rotisserie chicken is done. I wasn't gonna make you guys wait. Oh my gosh, he is huge. Look at him. This is Tag. He's an 1,000-pound Kodiak bear, and as you know, I've made him a rotisserie chicken, but first I'm gonna feed him this cookie right out of my mouth. Oh, I just kissed the bear. There's your chicken. Wow, he's eating the chicken, just bone and everything. You hear the crunches? I've never seen someone eat a rotisserie chicken like this. Tag, do you like the skin? The skin's always my favorite part on a rotisserie chicken. I think he's just gonna eat the entire carcass of the chicken. Oh my gosh. Believe it or not, chicken is the only meat that Tag likes. He doesn't eat steak, he doesn't eat fish, but he loves chicken. And I think I made him a good one. What is he doing? Oh, uh-oh, what's going on? Oh, that plate's gone. Oh, he's licking the table now. I want to ask Tag one last question before I go to the next animal. Did you love my Osmo chicken seasoning? Be honest. Yeah, that's right. You're the coolest bear ever. As if a bear wasn't big enough, we're cooking next for a hippo, and I'll be making a fancy fruit salad. I'm sure some of you have seen these videos online of hippos crunching down on things like pumpkins or watermelons, and they're some of the most satisfying videos I've ever seen. So I'm gonna make this fruit salad inside a watermelon basket. What I'm doing at the start here is making the handle for the basket, and the goal now is to basically carve out and remove all this watermelon so we have something that can hold this fruit salad. I'm now going to basically trace the part that I want to take out, and then we'll just empty the whole thing out. I'm gonna purposely leave some of the watermelon inside the bottom here, just so there's a bit of extra crunch for our hippo. Now with this large chunk that I carved out, I'm gonna scoop a few nice pieces of watermelon, then I'm also gonna carve out some honeydew melon, same thing into nice big chunks. Grab some lettuce, a few apple slices, some carrots. I've even got a couple of nice fresh beets, a few slices of banana, a little bit of sweet potato in there. Voila, a fancy fruit salad fit for a hippo. Here she comes. She may look nice, but don't let that cute face fool you. Hippos are one of the most dangerous animals on the planet, although in just a few moments, things are about to get a lot more dangerous than this. We only have one shot at this, so I'm gonna hand this off to the pros. Ready? Here we go. Oh my gosh. No. I think the watermelon must have been a little too slippery and it flew right out of her mouth. I can't believe that just happened. I'm gonna make another watermelon. Attempt number 2. Oh, that was the craziest crunch sound I've ever heard. She should start an ASMR channel. I think she really likes it. If you listen carefully, she's doing this sort of slurping sound. She's literally slurping up the extra watermelon juice from the ground. Another piece? There you go. That was really fun. Is that her breath?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's horrible. Our last animal before moving to level 4 is the giraffe. And since they love kale, I'm gonna make these giraffes a gourmet kale salad. One tricky part about making this is that normally when you make a kale salad, you wanna basically give the kale a huge salt bath to get it nice and tender. But since we can't add any extra salt for the giraffe, I'm just gonna give it a little massage with water and hope that does the trick. In addition to breaking it down, this is also gonna hydrate the kale, hopefully giving the giraffes a more tender bite. I'm also gonna chop up the zucchini into the bowl with these, and then same thing with my cucumber. Our last vegetable will be this green pepper, and with these I'm actually just gonna give a rough chop, and once this is in our bowl, I'll mix this up just a little bit more, and then time for the dressing. I'm gonna make a simple carrot and tomato dressing. First with some soft cooked carrots, and then a tomato that's been lightly cooked as well. To finish this off, I'll cover it with water and blend. To plate the salad, I'm gonna keep it simple. I'll add in my kale and different vegetables, and go over it with my carrot dressing, maybe a few more veggies on top just to make it look nicer, and lastly, a few hibiscus leaves for a nice pop of color. I'll have some salad. Yum. This is crazy. Look how long the tongue is. The tongue on the giraffe is dark blue like that so they don't get sunburned while they're out eating all day. I will be honest here, the giraffes don't love my salad. They like regular romaine lettuce. I think it might be the dressing. Oh, you want my salad? A little bit. Oh, he just spit it right out. That was so rude. I'm gonna try to hide some of my salad in one of the big lettuce leaves here. Hey, seriously? Wow, you guys are tough food critics. They're leaving. I think they're full. At least At least they ate something. Moving up to level 4, we'll cook now for a rhino, which I've always loved since they look exactly like modern-day dinosaurs. Also, this rhino happens to be at Disney's Animal Kingdom, which means I have a great excuse to go do some rides after. Rhinos are basically lawnmowers. They don't eat anything too exciting. It's mostly things like hay and grass, so we're gonna have to get creative here. And that's why I've got a few different types of hay. This one here is called alfalfa hay. It's extremely sweet, and to the rhino, it's almost sort of like eating a chocolate cake. This other one here is called Timothy hay. This one's gonna be a bit more on the lighter side and give both some sweet and savory flavors to the dish. I've also got some dried beet pulp for texture. And if the hay is our salad, you can think of these as the croutons. It's filled with corn, molasses, and a few other things. To build the dish, I'm gonna go down with one layer of hay, and then what I'll do is grab some of the other hay and start to layer these two between each other. Really all I'm doing here is just building layers of flavor. And then I'll start to mix in some of these croutons. Last but not least, I'll go over with a nice even sprinkle of that beet pulp, and the dish is complete. Are the rhinos used to people plating their food like this?
Not something that we do on a regular basis.
Oh boy, here we go. Oh baby, that is a big rhino. I cannot believe this rhino can run at 35 miles per hour. How is that even possible? All right, let's see how quickly she finds the food. My guess here, based on how fast she's eating this, is it's gonna take about a minute and a half. And now part of me is wishing I made her more food, but she seems like she's happy. I can actually hear all the little crunches coming from those pellets. I'm hoping she's enjoying that texture that we added in there for her. I'm gonna feed her just a little bit more. Yum. She's letting me pet her a little bit now, which I hope is a sign that she liked the food. She feels exactly like a hairy basketball. Most people, when I feed them, don't let me pet them. Getting even bigger now, we're off to cook for an elephant in the jungle of Thailand. In front of me are some very fresh fruits and vegetables. We also have some beautiful rice, as well as this nice outdoor cook station where we're gonna make them some rice balls. We'll start by prepping the rice. This will cook in the background while I'm cutting my veggies. And while that cooks, I'm gonna begin by chopping up a few carrots. We're gonna wanna chop these up into nice rings. And all of this is gonna be boiled because I'm at what's called an elephant sanctuary. All the elephants here have been rescued and don't have great teeth, so their food needs to be nice and soft. Once my carrots are chopped, I'll move on to my pumpkin. The first step here will be to remove the core. Once they're hollowed out, I'm gonna slice them into nice wedges. To get some sweetness, I'm also gonna use a few bananas. Wait, is this a double banana? I've never seen a double banana my whole life. But I can't get distracted. The elephants are hungry. Once all our veggies are prepped, I'm gonna steam them. And once everything's ready, I'll dump in my rice, along with my steamed pumpkin, some steamed carrots, and my peeled bananas. And now we mash it all up. The goal being to get it into a nice smooth mixture to make our rice balls. It smells so good. Once the mixture is nice and even, the final step is simple. Shape it into nice big balls and then set it aside. I got the boots, I got the balls, let's go feed an elephant. Look at the scale of how small I am next to this beautiful elephant. For reference, this elephant here weighs over 15,000 times the size of the rat you saw earlier in this video. Hi, buddy. Here you go. Here you go, buddy. He doesn't even chew. He just swallows it. What I am so shocked by is how quickly they eat it. Swallows in one gulp and reaches out for more every time. He loves these. He's already eaten 2. And these elephants will eat for 16 hours every single day. That's how much food they need. Only a few more left. Take your time with these ones. There's no rush. I'm not going anywhere until you're finished, I promise. Last rice ball, eat this one slowly, please. Slowly, slowly. Chew it. Enjoy the flavors. I took a lot of time to make this. You didn't listen. You swallowed it whole. Bye. Oh, he waved. For our final stop, I flew all the way to Iceland in search of the biggest animal on the planet, the blue whale. For scale, if we combine the weight of every single animal we've already fed in this video, it would still only make up about 7% of the weight of one of these whales. But even though I bought the most expensive plankton in the world and tossed it out to sea, we never found a whale. So after 3 hours of searching, I decided to go cook for a lion instead. I think we can all agree it's a lot cooler than a whale. For our lion, we're gonna be cooking this beautiful Australian Wagyu tomahawk. I had my meat dealer cut it thicker than you normally get with this kind of steak. And we're gonna cook it over charcoal. To begin, I'll fill my chimney with some charcoal, and then we'll light it up. This lion is lucky. Not only does he have an incredibly well-marbled piece of meat, but it's also gonna be seasoned with the best seasoning in the world, my Osmo signature steak rub. And I'm gonna make sure to really coat this piece of meat for our lion. Once our charcoal's ready, I'll set up my grill and let this come up to temp for just a few minutes. This lion likes his steak very rare, almost raw. So for that reason, I'm not gonna cook this tomahawk very much. The goal here is to get a nice light sear. All I want are a few grill marks and nothing more. Once I've quickly hit the first side, I'll flip it over, and same thing on the second. You might call that bit of char there burnt. I call it flavor. Let's hope our lion agrees. Once our steak is done, I'll bring it over here to carve it. We don't want our lion to hurt his teeth on this when he goes to bite it, so even though I think he'd love this giant tomahawk bone, which as you can see is huge and looks absolutely delicious, we're gonna cut our tomahawk into nice big slices for him to eat. To plate it, I'm gonna keep it simple. All he wants is a big big giant plate of meat, and that's what I'm gonna give him. I'm terrified, but let's go feed him. This might sound crazy, but I'm about 100 times more scared to feed this lion than I ever was cooking for Gordon Ramsay during my time at MasterChef. Nobody move. There is nothing between us and this lion right now. I'm gonna whisper so he eats the steak and not me, but this was the craziest video I've ever done. I just want to thank all of you watching and remind you to go subscribe and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. Because if you thought this one was good, just wait until you see the next one. Man, I probably should have cooked this lion a bigger steak.